Is it too much?
Yeah.
Are they going to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa?
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for movie stars who have gotten candid about what it's like to create romance on screen.
See, people do that.
Which, by the way, if they don't, they should.
Number 10. Robert Pattinson. Maps to the Stars. Even simulating sex can be strenuous, and Robert Pattinson learned that the hard way. In the 2014 film Maps to the Stars, Pattinson had to film a love scene with fellow star Julianne Moore.
Good if you want.
I want for a long time.
Yeah.
They filmed the movie in Toronto, where, according to Pattinson, it was hotter than Hades. Moore, however, is apparently one of those people who just doesn't sweat at all.
He tell you that?
He said you were very strong.
He did? He said that?
Pattinson was embarrassed by his profuse sweating and told her he would try to catch water droplets before they hit her back. For Moore's part, she asked him if he was having a panic attack when they were done. Ouch.
I'm a big fan.
Aw, thank you. Well, good luck.
Number 9. Dave Franco. Neighbours.
It's always awkward, and you got like 20 crew members standing around who you had also met that week, watching you guys just grind on each other.
We all get zits. It literally happens to everyone. But one particular zit showed up at not only an inopportune time, but in an inopportune place. In the movie Neighbours, Dave Franco had to film the first intense sex scene of his career, meaning it was the first sex scene where he had to show his butt.
See, you guys are never hooked up.
No!
You're blushing. No, I'm not. You are.
Having only met the actress he would share the scene with the day before, Franco was already nervous, and then on the morning of the shoot, he woke up with a giant pimple on his behind. Luckily, he had some very talented and very professional makeup artists to help him out.
I'm watching you. I'm watching you.
Who painted that mole on your face? Did you do that yourself?
Yes, I did.
Number 8. Christopher Mintz Plasse. Superbad. Imagine getting ready to film your big sex scene for what would become one of the most popular movies of all time. Now, imagine that your mum is there. This is exactly what happened to Christopher Mintz Plasse, or as you might know him, McLovin, on the set of Superbad.
Technically, I don't have a first name, so don't worry about my first name.
But we're the police.
Just want to get the story straight.
Mintz Plasse was 17 years old at the time of the shoot. Because he was underage, he had to have a parent on set with him. Yes, even for that sex scene.
She did not have to be there for every scene, but she 100% had to be there for the sex scene. Absolutely.
Mintz Plasse said that at the time he hadn't even really kissed a girl before, so having his mum around for the big day was pretty uncomfortable.
Very nervous. Very scared, and then I look over at Video Village and my mom is eating like a handful of popcorn talking to the producers. It's like, this is very, very surreal. Very, very surreal.
No, duh. Number 7. Henry Cavill. The Tudors.
You trust me with a beautiful woman? With my sister? Of course I trust you. Why shouldn't I?
We've never had to film a sex scene with someone, so we can only imagine how uncomfortable and complex that can be. So we really feel for Henry Cavill on this next one. When the actor was playing Playboy Charles Brandon on The Tudors, he had to have on-screen sex quite a bit.
You didn't like it? Well, I mean, when you think of, having sex with someone, you're normally alone.
I normally am.
During one of those first scenes, he accidentally got a little too excited. While acting with his co-star, Cavill unfortunately got visibly aroused, which is understandably really embarrassing if you're trying to remain professional. You have to respect the guy's honesty in being willing to talk about it later.
It's just one of those things. It's not nearly as sexy as one may imagine.
Number 6. Olivia Coleman. The Favourite.
Did you just look at me? Did you? Look at me. Look at me. How dare you? Close your eyes.
This 2018 film is a pretty unapologetically gross movie, and it seems that the stars of said movie got really into that gross sensibility. At one point, Olivia Coleman, who plays Queen Anne in the film, decided to play a trick on her co-star, Emma Stone.
And she said, I'm a little bit worried about it. Don't worry, I know. So I asked makeup department if they had a sponge.
During a love scene, Stone has to reach her hand in between Coleman's legs. Unbeknownst to Stone, Coleman had borrowed a damp sponge from the makeup department earlier that day, and it was now residing right where Stone was headed. According to Coleman, you can see the surprised look on her face in the film itself.
She's going up my leg and she went... It's a sponge.
Number 5. Jamie Dornan, 50 Shades Darker.
No rules, no punishments, and no more secrets.
I can do that.
When you have to work together intimately for as long as Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson have, you're bound to start to become pretty comfortable together. You're also bound to start to play some tricks on each other.
You know, we know each other so well now, and we know how to make each other laugh very easily. And
on an episode of The Graham Norton Show, Dornan revealed that when filming sex scenes in the 50 Shades trilogy, his goal was simply to amuse Johnson. Since the films usually have music playing over the big, climactic moments, he was free to make whatever noises he wanted. The sillier, the better.
Sometimes I'll do things like when there's a moment where I'm meant to, you know, I'll be like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Number 4, Amelia Clark, Game of Thrones.
Khal Drogo has never been defeated. He's a savage, of course, but he's one of the finest killers alive. And you will be his queen.
We all know Game of Thrones had many intense, graphic and disturbing scenes throughout its run, but Amelia Clark had a particularly difficult run, even right from the first episode. Luckily, her scene partner tried to make her as comfortable as possible.
He's a funny man.
He doesn't look like a funny man.
He doesn't look funny, but he can be very funny. A little bit of whiskey and he's very funny.
In one of the first upsetting sex scenes between Daenerys and Khal Drogo, actor Jason Momoa did his best to keep things light. Specifically, he decided to change up the usual wardrobe to brighten the mood.
He decided to not use a modesty sock, but use a beautiful pink fluffy sock.
According to Clark, it helped her relax, even though the subject matter of the scene was so dark. Number 3, Allison Williams, Girls.
Am I doing something wrong?
stop, Marnie, stop.
People aren't even paying attention. They're not even listening.
That's crazy. They're into it. It's just a couple kids.
Allison Williams was an integral part of the hit show Girls. Throughout its run, she found herself included in some of the most memorable episodes of all time. In this particular episode from a later season, Williams' character Marnie receives quite a pleasurable experience from her boyfriend from behind. How does one prepare for that as a thespian, you might ask?
We'll talk about that later, sir.
According to Williams, by trying to make their butts smell like a cake. That apparently included quite a lot of vanilla lotion. That's one way to go about it, we guess.
It's very, very strange. So all you can hope for is that you get in fits of giggling with your co-star.
Number 2, Keira Knightley, A Dangerous Method. Keira Knightley is certainly no stranger to sex scenes. In fact, reportedly, the famous dress from the Atonement Library scene kept ripping during filming. But she has a difficult time while filming a certain intense spanking scene from David Cronenberg's A Dangerous Method.
With me, I want you to be ferocious. I want you to punish me.
According to Knightley, there was no actual spanking involved. Co-star Michael Fassbender was instead slapping a box. Knightley nervously and jokingly told Fassbender that she had a security guard outside in case he got too close to her. She also said she downed 2 shots of vodka before filming began. All in all, it seemed like a really stressful scene for her because of the material.
It's not a question of sides. I have to work in the direction my instinct tells my intelligence is the right one.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honourable mentions. Margot Robbie, The Wolf of Wall Street. Sex on money can mean paper cuts.
You want to be my friend?
We're not gonna be friends.
Julia Roberts, Pretty Woman. Even movie stars break out into hives sometimes.
I guess so.
Ben Affleck, Live by Night. Some sex scenes just go on and on.
Mind if I join you?
Sorry, Father Time, we're waiting for someone.
Regé-Jean Page, Bridgerton. Page is just too tall for those Regency-era beds.
Desperate times may call for desperate measures.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Jennifer Lawrence, Passengers.
You two look fine this evening.
Thank you, Arthur. We're on a date.
Acting is a job, and sometimes, of course, that means sharing romantic scenes with people who are married or have partners in real life. You might know that it's just a job, logically, but it can still sometimes be difficult to deal with emotionally. So how did Jennifer Lawrence get over it, you ask? Well, apparently, alcohol.
I had a bottle of whiskey because you forget, like when you're shooting, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get hammered for the sex scene because it's stressful and scary. And then you forget, like, you know, you're at work, and so you're gonna be here for 8 hours.
In 2016's Passengers, Lawrence had love scenes with her married co-star Chris Pratt. She was apparently so nervous about kissing a married man that she got drunk beforehand, but unfortunately that didn't stop the surge of anxiety she felt after everything was said and done.
Kill the lights! Yeah! Kill the lights! I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry, I don't know, acting.
If we missed any of your favourite juicy behind-the-scenes tidbits, let us know in the comments below.
Have you made up this story afterwards?
Her face was a picture.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.